Friday morning. We made it to Friday. So it's still, however, it is supposed to get up to 37 tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to a warm up. Maybe some snow will melt. I think Willow forgot to take the turkey egg in. You can see it did not even freeze. Hi, turkeys. So I'm gonna feed all these goats. Also had a new addition to the herd join us very early this morning. It was about 5 o'clock. I had set my alarm to go off about every hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes so I could, good morning, Mom. Good morning, Willow. Could check on Nutmeg. I did have her in the kidding room with her daughter Sage, who was due on Wednesday. Sage did not have her kids yet, so we're still on baby watch for her. Miss Nutmeg, I turned on the camera about 5. Of course, she got in the one corner where the camera does not reach. And I was hearing little baby sounds in the knicker, but since Chia is Nutmeg's daughter, they sound very, very similar. But it made me very suspicious. So I'm like, well, I better check. So got dressed, came out here, and of course, she did have her little baby. He is not actually little. He's a pretty big guy. So he's pretty tired from being born. Hi. This is Nutmeg's little buckling. She had a single buck kid. That's what she had last year too. Oh, Nutmeg. She did have him by herself. I was not out here. When I came out, she had him cleaned off a lot of the way, so there wasn't a whole lot for me to do. I did get a towel and a blow dryer and just warm him up because he was cold. So luckily I had set my alarm to be right after he was born so I could be out here to warm him up. He sure is a cute little guy. Hi, little guy. But as far as Nigerian kids go, he's actually not little. Chia's kids came over to visit him, and he is like towering over those triplets already because he was a big single. They were triplets. He's already bigger than them, even though they're 5 days old. He's all black. He's just got a little bit of white on his pole. So Nutmeg had him pretty easily. She got him all cleaned up. She was pretty full last night when I checked her udder. So I was thinking she might have him, and her stomach kept kind of moving upwards, so it kind of looked like contractions. So I was suspicious. She was 5 days over. Oh, hi, Demetrios. I'm guessing it's not morning there. It's morning here. She released the hostage about 5 a.m., Ashley, and guess what? Single buck kid. Last year, she also had a single buck kid. This is 2 years in a row of single buck kids. Altogether, she has had 3 single buck kids. And he is a big boy, too. Chia's little doe came over and was like excited to see another baby, and he towered over her. I was hoping for a doe, I won't lie, but Nutmeg's doing great. She passed the placenta, so everybody's good. Everybody's strong and healthy. He did not want to eat at first, and I think it was because he was a little bit chilled because I was kind of late getting out here since I did not know he was born right away. And so it took a while to get him warmed up, and instead of waiting to see him eat, I just decided to go ahead and bottle feed him. So I milked her into a bottle. I gave him the bottle, and he took that like super quickly. Oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna try to get a light on. Kind of dark in here. I wonder if I can get the light on. Try the other outlet. Maybe it's a light. Oh, there we go. Okay, a little bit more light. So just a single for Nutmeg. Yes, Dreamer has been on that same ride of a big white single buckling every year, so I know you understand. Chia and her babies, they were all excited to see another baby. They were over there checking out the new baby, running around, being very crazy. Hi, Olivia. Any tips? Find a good goat mentor. Ideally, the goats that you buy from. Hopefully, get someone that will mentor you, because goats can have a lot of issues pop up, and if you're not familiar with goats, it's kind of hard to know what it is. So start with a healthy herd, and hopefully get a mentor to kind of guide you along. I feel like I honestly learn something new about my goats every day, and I've had goats for over 15 years. Now this herd of Nigerian dwarfs, I've had Nigerian dwarfs for almost 6 years. I'm gonna feed my big doe pen. We did have to move Mr. Goose back out with the bucks because he would not quit pawing the gate, and that noise was driving me crazy, especially when I'm on the camera listening for Nutmeg and Sage to go into labor. I don't feel like hearing him crashing into the gate. He was doing that because one of the junior does was in heat. I don't know why this heated water bucket froze. I didn't plug it in all the way. I'm so glad to have electricity out here. I could not imagine not having electric. There's not actually any goats out here to use this bucket. I think maybe I filled it up too much. Okay guys, are your pans clean? You ate a lot of your hay. I started giving them some grass hay that we got from a neighbor, and it's kind of coarse at the bottom, so they don't usually finish it all. Sage is over there laying down, which is usually a warning sign that maybe we're gonna get more kids. Oh, I will tell him. He was talking about it last night. He's like, well, what colors do I make it? And I'm like, well, I think orange and black would be a good one. I'm like, she'll understand why it's orange and black. Or not orange and black, yellow and black. Sorry, I didn't get a lot of sleep. Hi, Marky Mark. Oh, goodness, you guys. The turkeys actually slept outside last night. I have no control over where turkeys are going. They just come and go as they please, pretty much. So, it did warm up a little bit. Last night we were out here kind of waiting to see if she would have the kids, because it did look like she was having contractions. I went ahead and gave multi-min to some of my does, and then I also followed up on the bucks treatment. I've been I'm treating them with ivermectin. Yes, her one single big baby hostage, big old buckling, completely black. So I don't know, Willow, I don't know if you're on here, but look at this, Willow. Milk foam on Ms. Midnight. Also milk foam on Moon. Oh goodness, who pushed the door open? Probably Pancake. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to squash you. Okay, Moon, Tiny, yes, you may go out. Vanilla Bean. Okay, guys, don't bother the new baby. They probably will. Stampede. They have actually finished this bucket, the lick. Look, it actually separated at the bottom. They licked this entire bucket all the way down. It's amazing to me. I actually stopped buying them in the summer because they get all melty and weird, goopy and dirty. In the winter, it's usually pretty fine because it doesn't melt. These kind of temperatures, I don't think anything's melting. So as you can see, they're all eating, but Miss Sage is over there by herself, laying down. She was due on Wednesday, so she's now 2 days overdue. Nutmeg went all the way to day 150. So a standard size goat, their gestation is 150 days. For mini goats, like Nigerian dwarfs, it's 145, although I see a lot of mine go up to 3 days over. I don't know, but Vanilla Bean, she is still drinking milk. She gets like a excessive amount of milk foam, and she wipes it on the two little black junior does. So me and Willow are always like, well, which one had the milk foam this morning? But Willow's not here. She had to go to a school thing. They both had the milk foam this morning, so. Sage is a first freshener, which means it's her first time having kids, so I would really like to be around just in case anything doesn't go to plan. I know like Nutmeg has kidded, I don't know, 6-7 times. So she's really a pro at it. The junior does, you don't really know. Although I found in general that Nigerian dwarfs are excellent mothers. I think we have about 14 does bred this year. So we have a lot due in February. I really hope it's warmer than it is right now. Hi, Jose. Good morning. I love this major. It's almost all alfalfa. Didn't realize I threw down so much. Miss Sage, are you okay? Can we bring you some hay to munch on? So she's over here chewing her cud. She's not eating with the other goats. Part of the reason might be that she was out all night in the kidding room with Nutmeg, so she probably did get ate some grain through the night. Turkey left me an egg. Some of them are like super speckled. This one is really speckled. See these bellies on these goats. I think the next one due is actually this doe, Licorice. She's also going to be a first freshener. We don't have an exact date for her. We have like a week range. So that'll be fun. Uh-oh, Bean got milk foam all over her dam as well. She's like a milk frother. Blackberry, get down. Okay, so when they start acting bucky, it makes me very suspicious that they're gonna have a lot of buck kids. So I hate it when they start doing that. And I had several does do that this year. Stop, you are not gonna have a bunch of bucks, are you? She probably is. Guys, I gotta get out the door. You gotta move. Excuse me, can you do that somewhere else? I'm gonna crack my turkey egg. Sorry, Nutmeg, I didn't mean to leave so many goats out. Nutmeg's trying to rest after having her baby and the whole herd comes to visit. Where is your baby, Nutmeg? See, the light went back out. Only thing more chaotic than a bunch of goats loose in the feed room is goats loose in a dark feed room. Oh, he's up. Look at him, eating like a champ. This kid is gonna grow fast. I bet he's already heavier than Chia's triplets. Guys, come on, leave Nutmeg alone. Let's close this gate. She doesn't need all of you over here. Since Goose isn't in here this morning, who hit the light again? I think I'll just put him in the middle. That way they don't try to stampede the new babies. So Licorice is our next one due. Here's a bucket. After that is a doe that I'm really excited about. Chocolate Chip is due. She is due 3 weeks after Nutmeg's due date, which at this point has already been 5 days ago. So Chocolate Chip is due on February 9th, Sunday. So Chocolate Chip has blue eyes. She was our first Maverick daughter. And so I actually did a line breeding with another buck that I have that's somewhat related to her. So I'm really excited for the kids. Chocolate Chip is an extremely wide doe, but she's grossly overconditioned. And I'm not going to say it's not because of me, because yes, I probably am to blame. And she drank milk until she was like, I don't know, 8 months old. I think this light bulb is loose. There we go. Okay. Oh, you are up. You wouldn't believe how big he looks compared to the other babies. Hi, Brainstormer. Yes. I don't know why the turkey keeps going in the goat corner and laying that egg in the swimming pool, but every morning almost, there's an egg there. So we have a heating pad underneath, a heat lamp over top. Tiny, no, you were not in here fighting Nutmeg. Tiny came in with her ears back like she was looking for a fight. Tiny and Nutmeg are the two does I've had the longest. So they love this block. I stuck it in here because Nutmeg kept getting upset about being locked in the kidding room, but she was overdue, so she loves these blocks. Oh, Chia, you're all curled up. You're so cute. Here's Chia and her triplets. So they'll be 5 days old tonight. Oh, you guys didn't have to get up. Did I make you get up? Big stretch. This little one has the fuzziest head. It looks like a lamb. Your teeth are showing. Made me do a second glance to make sure he doesn't have an underbite. So I'm not going to register these little bucklings. They will be withered, probably go to a 4-H home. But if he were to have an underbite, I'm trying to think of what kind of defect that is. I know for bucks, if they have a crooked face, it's a disqualification. For does, it is not. There's actually a lot of buck-related disqualifications. So if a buck were to have an extra teat, that's a disqualification. If he were to have, I think, an extra orifice. Gosh, I guess I need to study. It's been a while since I've taken the test. There's 14 disqualifications. Frosty, you are so thirsty. This is the only doe we've gotten this year. Guys, there's 3 bucklings and 1 little doe. So, hoping that Sage will give us some more does. Frosty, are you really going to be the only doe here? She's so cute. She's got this like roning all the way throughout. So soft. You're building up the milk foam yourself, Frosty. Someone suggested the name Frosty in the chat, and it was like the cutest idea. She was born on a really frosty night, and she has frosted nose and ears, so we're gonna name her Frosty. I do have to do a DNA test on her, although she looks just like Cuddles. Yeah, really, you are pooping on me. We will do a DNA test just to be sure. I don't need any DNA controversies going on right now. The Nigerian dwarf world has already had enough of those. So Nutmeg is actually Chia's dam as well. So this little buckling is Chia's half brother. This is molasses water. They usually love it, so I always offer it right after they give birth. Cecily, you are so nosy. Cecily, please. Look, Cecily and her daughter. Both of them. Beauty ran back to see the triplets and she just got kicked out. Okay, guys, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to close the gate. You guys are not respecting any of the boundaries of the new babies. You are just stomping in. Did you already eat all the feed I put in the middle? Hey, Rebby. Rebby's another one that I'm excited about kidding. I think Willow was here for that breeding. She bred her to Cuddles as well, so the baby should look a lot like Frosty. Hopefully it's not a buck kid. Last year she also had a big single buck kid. It was a huge buck kid. Although I did keep him. I don't need another one. So with the new babies, we have 46 goats now. Of course, some of them are only a couple pounds. So I'm not sure if they count as much as the bigger goats. Cecily. Cecily's in here trying to fight Nutmeg. No, you're banned. Sorry. You guys were not respectful of the... I am really excited for the weather to warm up. These guys to go out, get some exercise, walk around their pasture. I feel like they've been cooped up in the barn a lot. I'm sick of them being cooped up in the barn, and I'm sure they're also sick of it. Guys, where did Peter go? Did you run him off? So Peter was in the kidding room all night. He's back here in the tool area now. There he goes. It's the white flash. Peter. Peter outweighs all the baby goats. I don't know how much he weighs, but I would say at least 10 pounds. I'm trying to keep up with the straw since I have been in the barn so much lately. Hi Sanjay, good morning. You're from India. Well, I know it's probably evening time there. It's morning here. You have goats too, I think, if I remember correctly. So to prevent staph, I usually go over everything with a layer of straw every day. It's the soiled areas. We do deep bed over the winter. So we did a clean out like right around New Year's. And then we probably will do one other one. But with the bedding being deep, it just helps them stay warmer. How cold the temperatures have been. They really need it. So Sage has been sitting by herself. The whole time that I've been out here feeding. So I wouldn't be surprised if she did have her kids this afternoon or this evening. I'm kind of ready for a break from kidding. Although we've kind of now just pushed up onto Licorice's beginning of due date. Hi, Rebby. Hi, Turkey. Oh, this is just straw. It's usually, I think, wheat straw. So it's just bedding. They don't eat it. Tiny, looking quite big. I bet she will have triplets again this year. Hi, Miss Blue. the dirty nose too. You must have been eating the protein lick. This kid is so big. You're a monster. Excuse me. I think the goats are always like paranoid that I'm going to be getting out more feed because they'll just get right in front of your legs and just turn sideways and stop. Makes it really hard to walk around. Hi, Cheerio. You look fluffy. So I had the cot in the nursery because the other night I stayed out here. I was worried she would have them when it was like 5 below. And I really felt like they would just freeze really quickly. So last night I had left the cot up. It's like an old one that we, just use for things like this. And I saw Sage sleeping on it. Were you sleeping on the cot last night, Sage? You're so crazy. 13 this morning. I'm ready for a warm-up. I really hope February is warmer with all the kids that we bred for February. Pancake, could you make Sage get up? I think Pancake's stomach is almost touching the ground. It's like she has like 4 inches of clearance under the bottom of her stomach. Why are you so large, ma'am? She is so soft this year. That's your daughter. It's Chocolate Chip. Chocolate Chip and Pancaker. Partners in crime. Pancake's usually the mediator, though. Like, if she sees 2 does fighting, she'll be right in the middle trying to break it up. They both have blue eyes. Chocolate Chip has moon spots, which you can't really see right now because her hair is so long. See this dark brown area? This is considered a moon spot. Yes, this doe's pregnant. She is due in, today's the 24th. She's due in 16 days. So the dark brown areas are moon spots. A moon spot has to be a colored spot on top of another colored area. So it can't be like white or black. I don't really have a lot of moon spots here. So Licorice after Sage is the next one. She's also a first freshener. Are you guys gonna go outside today? I probably will go up and get them some more minerals. They've been eating a ton of minerals, and I think it's because they've been in the barn so much. Oh, Sage, you did get up. She's got some milk coming in. Sage was our junior champion at the Indiana State Fair this year. Well, last year actually, 2024, in the youth ring. So the Indiana State Fair has 2 rings. They have a youth ring where kids that are in 4-H can show if their name is on the goat's papers, or like a family name or herd name. And then there's also an open ring where like adults can show. So my kids showed in the 4-H ring. We also showed in the open show. So I'm really hoping to see some improvement in Sage over her dam. Nutmeg is super sweet. She's very compliant. If you take her in the ring, she'll stand, she'll walk. She's really great for showmanship. But her memory system, the attachments are not good. So I'm hoping to see improvement in Sage, an overall area of attachment. One thing that I really like is Nutmeg has a beautiful rump and back, and she really passed that width onto her daughter. You can see how wide Sage is over the top. I actually have a lot of Nutmeg daughters and granddaughters, and it's because of the back and the rump that I really love them. So Pumpkin is a great-granddaughter. Time is a granddaughter. Hi, Timey. And Time really has Nutmeg's sweet personality. She is just the sweetest. I think we shaved her like 4 times last summer. And she stands. She doesn't mind if you shave her. You can shave her face. She doesn't try to... Oh, what happened? Something scared them. They all ran by. Oh, I think it's actually the rabbit. It is the rabbit. Seriously, guys, he's in your pen half the time. So last night, I actually saw the neighbor cat, and I knew it was the neighbor cat because it had a collar on. He's like a gray striped, and he was in this pen, which is very weird. And so all the goats were laying down. I think it was about 5:30 this morning. And then Happy jumps up to chase him out. The neighbor cat, I feel like, is at our house more than he's at his own house. Hi, Bernicia. Bernicia's an old girl. She will be 6. I think her birthday's in June. She's due in February as well. I think last year, I actually bought her in May. She wasn't here when she kidded last year. I did end up milking her through the summer. She has an amazing udder texture. If you hand milk goats, you know how important it is to have the soft texture to the udder. It makes milking 100 times easier. It's easy to milk her. You don't have to like put a lot of effort into it. So I'm excited to have kids from her. I hope that she has some doe kids. Bernicia actually appraised 90. I think that was in 2023. Okay, Eclipse, you're being very rude. Your face is still dirty. Eclipse is a brat. I'm so sorry, Bernicia, that you had to deal with that. Your nose is dirty. Your face looks so funny. These kids get so jealous if you pet another goat. So I think Bernicia is due on February 11th. I believe she said quads last year, so maybe she'll have a lot this year. Bernicia, you always look so tired. There's the one causing all the commotion, Mr. Peter. Hi, turkey. Apparently everyone's ready to be petted this morning. This turkey never usually lets you pet it. You have snow on your back. To me, it kind of looks like a vulture. This one's grouchier than the white one, too. She'll try to chase the goats away. Misha, did I not pet you long enough? You're gonna have to hire someone to come and pet all these goats. They want like hours of scratches. Make the kids come out and do it. Willow already pets them a lot. It's been a little cold for William to want to come out. He did come out and play with the babies last night. He always names the does. It's usually food names. He named Pancake chocolate chip. I think he also named Licorice. He named Vanilla Bean. He had a little wether that Pancake had last year, and he named it Biscuit. Biscuit was very sweet. Well, Biscuit went to a pet home. Peter's been in the kidding room for like 2 days, so I think he was getting a little stir crazy. Are you guys ready to come back in? The naughty bunch. It's funny because he looks so yellow up close, but actually when he's out in the snow, it is hard to see him, especially at night. You almost cannot see him at all. Peter, no, please. I hate when he goes into the field because then we have to run him back through. Do you see Peter? He's not listening. Oh, Minnie, you look big. Minnie had triplets last year. The year before that, she had a single Licorice. Okay, you guys can go back in. No, Eclipse, you're too pesty. No, Eclipse, no. Eclipse fights with everybody. Go, 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 go. Licorice. Happy, you ready to go out? Happy Bean. Well, Eclipse made her way out. I guess she'll be happy now. Come on, Happy. Let's go. Back in. Come on. Back in, ma'am. Lulu. Lulu, go. Hey, Minnie, you're scaring her. Nice. Easy. Go. Actually, a good number of them did want to go back. I think it's because I shut the gate. So they can't go in there and chew on the block. Someone got choked. Who's coughing? Stopped. Crumble, you ready to go back in? Let's go. Hi, Libby. No, Miss Pancake. I think you guys have had enough grain. I gave you like 4 coffee cans. Come on, Tiny. Let's go. Crumble. Okay. Licorice, go back out. Got a lot of them in. We got 3, 4 out. Are you ready? ready to go out? Okay, let's go. Crumble. Crumble, why do you never want to go back out? There we go. Okay, now we're left with 2. Doing pretty good. Thanks, Eclipse. I don't need your help. Maybe I did need your help. So we can open the gate back now. All of the mob has left. Nutmeg has her molasses water. Nutmeg, you look so tired. This kid is so big. I cannot believe how big he is. So Chia's triplets were 5 pounds, 5 pounds, and 3.5. So I really am curious what he weighs. I don't need either of you chonkers on the scale. Eclipse, really? Are you gonna look at the new baby? Okay, I'm gonna weigh him, Nutmeg. I'll bring him right back. It'll just take a second. I feel like the sweater barely fits him. Oh, he is 6.2. A whole pound heavier than she is. So she had one single kid at 6 pounds. I'd say 0.2, probably the sweater. But Chia had 3, and they were totaling almost 13 pounds. So that's almost twice as much baby as Nutmeg had. And Chia didn't really look that large either. Chia, you were carrying so much baby. Yes, you were. It was over double. Over double what Nutmeg had. He's huge. He's a monster. So the turkey came in here. He's doing his weird, or she's doing her weird chirps. These babies are so tired. And I know it's because at 5 when I was out here, I was getting close to 6, helping Nutmeg dry off her kid. They were running all over this room. They wanted to play with the new kid, especially Frosty. She was over there jumping around and he was trying to dry off, just born. Baby goat kids just love to play. It's their favorite thing. Chia, that's not your baby. Your babies are all here. That's not your kid, Chia. I know they look the same, but it's not. Chia, really? You don't believe me? Oh, Frosty, you did a big roll. So did you realize it wasn't your kid, Chia? You already have 3 babies. Is that not enough? So as soon as she gets up, they are trying to get milk. These kids are very voracious eaters. Let's check your bellies. He feels a little squishy. So we do have multiples like this. I usually track their weight just to make sure that they're continually gaining. By the time they're 2 months old, they should be very close to 20 pounds. Now she might be a little bit under because she's pretty small, but for the most part, around 2 months old, 8 to 10 weeks, they should be close to 20 pounds. Your belly feels very full. If you feel right in front of their back legs, if it feels nice and tight, they're getting enough milk. Kids doesn't feel super, well, actually it does. If it feels squishy, then they need to eat more. They don't have big bellies. They only weigh a few pounds. So they eat really frequently. And by doing that, they're continually emptying the udder, which prompts the doe to make more milk. However, to make that much milk, she has to be eating a lot. She has to be drinking a lot. Hi, brothers. You guys have a new uncle to play with. An uncle that's 5 days younger than you. I just cannot get over how cute her little face is. They're so soft too. I won't argue with you. Goats do make, they're good to eat. They're also really healthy. It's a healthy meat. We have eaten goat before. These bucklings have the longest legs. I don't even know how she fit them all in there. Yes, Nigerian dwarfs have the best milk of any dairy goat that I've tried. It has a really mild flavor. It has a really high butterfat content. So we enjoy drinking the milk. We also make caramels, feta cheese. Camel milk, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Wonder how camel milk would taste. The positive thing, I guess the camel could just maybe stand up and it's like eye level. I know some sheep dairies are popping up in the United States. I actually ran into a family that was running a sheep dairy, and they said that the sheep have really, I guess the milk is delicious. I don't know. I've never had sheep milk. But these guys are starting to get their horn buds in. Typically, you'll feel the bucklings a lot sooner than you will the doe. So we have a store near us in Cincinnati, and it's called Jungle Gyms. It's actually really popular. It's like a tourist attraction. But they have all kinds of weird foods, like from all over the world, just foods that you can't buy at your regular Kroger. I wonder if they would have camel milk. Here are the bucklings out back. They're getting angry that I haven't fed them. Hi, buddy. Yeah, Jungle Gyms. Have you been there recently, Mark? I thought you went there. Someone I know went there and bought something. It was like a weird food. Can't think of who it was. I'm thinking it was like a snake or something. maybe it's kind of a shock for your digestive system if you're not used to it. I know some people have trouble with goat's milk if they have never drank it before. And the milk that I drink, we're not selling it, so we just drink it raw. I've tested the milk, I've tested the goats. I'm there milking them, so I know that it's been handled correctly. So I'm comfortable drinking our milk raw, but I think some people might have, their body may not process it easily. Oh, so you bought the alligator. They show camel milk online. That's wild. I've had alligator. I thought it, tastes like chicken. I don't know. I drink milk. I eat eggs, so I don't know why some women hate it. I do get burnt out on eating eggs. I have about 10 chickens, so during some parts of the year, we become overloaded in eggs, so I get tired of them. I could imagine it's pretty expensive. I've never seen like a camel like its udder, but I feel like maybe they wouldn't produce a lot. Like dairy goats have been bred to produce a pretty good amount of milk. Cows have also, but I don't know. Do they breed camels for that? I took a camel ride at the zoo. That's my only experience with them. Oh, did you? I'm actually eating that right now too. I have like a couple whole hams left. And so I'm like, well, we need to finish the rest of these hogs before we go into summer again, because I'm planning for my kids to show hogs again, which means that we will have a lot more. But I kind of got tired of that too. After a while, you just get burnt out eating it. I do like this smoked ham. I will check it out if we can find it. Josie should do a hog. I have a friend that's selling some market lambs, and she's not very far away in Kentucky, and I was kind of tempted to go get the kids some because they were pretty cheap, like 150 each. They're still bottle fed. I would guess that they said that they actually do really well on their goat milk because they raise goats as well. But I think it would be good experience for the kids to show something different. But I love seeing kids show market barrows. I think it's the funniest thing. They're very cute to watch. I felt like the ham that we got from our own pigs, though, had like a lot of fat on it. And I don't know if it's because I gave them too much goat milk or what. Oh, she would be so cute out there showing a pig. Yeah, that's a good idea. How many female babies and how many males? So right now I have had 2 does kid, and altogether we have 3 bucklings and 1 little doeling. So last year I ended up with 33 kids, 22 were bucks, 11 does. So I'm kind of hoping it's not like that again, but we're not off to a good start. It makes it easy. You don't have to decide who to keep. I actually ended up keeping all 11 of the does. They were from my newer bucks, and I'm trying to improve some aspects of conformation. So I feel like they have really great potential. And when they're babies, it's like they take up such little space, It's easy to justify keeping them. Hi, Elliot. Thank you. They're very sweet. So FR24, you also had goats once. They are cute. They can be a headache sometimes. You know, I'm in a lot of goat groups, so I feel like my news feed is almost all goat stuff. I see a lot of people like with the goats and they just like let them run around their yard. And so they're constantly like on their porch, they're constantly jumping on their cars. And I really don't know how they stand that. I feel like that would absolutely drive me crazy. Of course, they may not have 40 or 50 goats either. Yes, I feel like mine are a bit picky. They won't eat anything that's fallen on the ground or has been touched by another goat's mouth. But I have seen them like go over and eat dirt. So I'm like, you know, you can't eat an animal cracker if another goat licked it, but then you're licking dirt. So I don't know. I'm worried it's like something weird, but it's only very rarely. Are you really eating your brother's ear? Baby goats for sure like to chew everything to figure out what it is. Just like he's chewing his brother's ear. So I don't have a lot of other animals besides the goats. I have about 10 chickens. I have the 2 turkeys. I have 2 adult rabbits, and the female rabbit had babies, so now I have 7 baby rabbits. We have 5 cats, and then a dog. So that's about it. We'll probably get 2 market hogs, maybe in May. Yeah, but when it's super cold, I think it's that I was nuts when I got all these animals. I did not intend to breed the rabbits, and I go to church with a lady and she couldn't take care of them, so I took them, and then of course the female rabbit was pregnant, so I did separate them. That's why Peter is running around the barn, but now I have all these baby rabbits and they're getting pretty big now, so I could probably start finding them homes. Yeah, she's got her ears back. She's probably exhausted. With the other goat in here having her kids at like 5 a.m., she's probably didn't get a lot of sleep. And the babies keep climbing on her. Well, baby goats are just, they're constantly jumping on their mom's back. They're not very peaceful. Chia, are you tired? Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me they think that goat eyes are creepy. I never really understood that. I guess because it's the shape of the pupil or something, but I always think that they're beautiful. I do have 2 blue-eyed goats, so I don't know if chocolate chips babies will have blue eyes or if they'll be brown-eyed. I don't have a blue-eyed buck. I mean, I think blue eyes are cool, but that's not really anything that I would breed for. Where are you going, Chia? You're just shifting. Oh, sorry, it's in your way. There's a heating pad right under this blanket, so they're all laying on it. The Nigerian dwarfs, a lot of people that, you know, aren't showing their goats will breed for like colors, or they'll breed for blue eyes. Frosty, did he just step on your head? She has the most petite little ears. She's just so sweet. So since my kids started showing, well, last year we went to the national show, and so in order to show in the embedded youth ring, the goats have to be in the kid's name only. So I had to transfer some of the goats because right now it's like in the family's name, so it's all of our names to them only. So since then, my son is like asking like, whose goat is that? So I was telling him about Frosty, and he's like, who's gonna get Frosty? So luckily both my kids like to show them. My son's younger, so he doesn't show all day a lot of the times. I don't want him to hate it. But he'll show just about anything. When he showed his pig though, they were extremely naughty and they kept doing laps. His pigs in general were very naughty. They kept escaping. Miss Barbara Simmons. His name was Billy Goat Gruff. That's a perfect name. So was it a buck? If it was a buck, I could see it actually being a Billy Goat Gruff. I have 4 senior bucks right now, and they drive me crazy. They can be very sweet at times, but then they can also be kind of jerks sometimes. Yeah, they're so snuggly, so soft. When they're sleeping like this, I always try not to wake them, but like they're so cute and snuggly to hold, although a lot of times when you pick them up, they let out like a big heavy sigh, like they're just so sick of it. It's kind of like a cat, when you hold a cat and the cat lets out like a big sigh. Oh no, it was destructive, I have one like that right now who, when he got out, he immediately ran to the gutter downspout and was trying to like tear it apart. And it's like, why are you this way? You have an entire acre to run around and you just want to try to tear something up. You've never seen a pig. Well, pigs are really smart. I'm always kind of shocked at how smart they are. Oh, tore up your swing set. Yeah, I can imagine that. You guys are all tired. I think Nutmeg must have kept you up last night. So my favorite, I've always been a cat person. I would say probably a cat, and after that a goat. I don't know. Depends on the day, I guess. How you doing, Nutmeg? Nutmeg is actually our herd queen. She is the first Nigerian dwarf goat that I bought. I bought her back in May of 2019. So she's kidded several times. I think 6 times. She's the herd queen. She is almost always the most alert, smartest goat out there. If you change anything in the barn, she notices immediately. She loves to be scratched. Oh yeah, that would, goats are fun to have, but you can't just have one, so you'd have to get 2. So an African serval cat. I think I've seen pictures of those. They're really, really beautiful. I think they might be the super energetic ones. I don't know if I could handle that. Just get a goat and pretend like it's not. I met a lady at one of the conferences, and she had like 5 acres, but there were some restrictions. She was not allowed to have a buck, so she had some does, but she couldn't have a buck to breed them, so she was trying to like AI them. Hi, buddy. You have the longest legs. He is still unfolding. It's so funny how their legs don't even look straight right after they're born. This is a big kid. You see how tight the sweater looks on him? All the sweaters are the same size. So the sweater's still really big on Frosty, but it looks really tight and like squeezed on him. He's still learning to walk. He's toddling around. That Meg must feel good. She's chewing her cud. Want some more molasses? Yeah, it's amazing how the goats, like, they know every other goat. Like, there's 40 goats in this pen, but you can bring in one new goat and they immediately know which one it is. They actually develop accents as herds. So in the drink is molasses. Usually right after they have their babies, I give them a hot molasses in their water, and they love it. Molasses has a lot of, well, it's got the sweetener, which kind of is like a pick-me-up, but it also has some, I believe, B vitamins in it. Are you gonna take a nap, buddy? Let's see, you've been alive for 5 hours. And you're still not ready to lay down and sleep. Is it because I'm in here bugging you? We waited 5 extra days for Nutmeg to give us this big boy. Nutmeg, he is cooked well done. Yeah, they do. They all have personalities. They know, you can really, if you listen closely, you can tell which goat it is by the sound of their call. And a lot of them will learn their name, so they'll answer like if you call them. The other night I slept in here because it was like -5. And I was worried that she would have them and they would freeze instantly because they're, all wet when they're born. And so I had the sleeping bag up over my head, but every time I would pull it down and look out, Meg would be like, she had forgot that I was there. So she would be like all excited to see me under there. And then she kept standing next to me chewing her cud. Oh yeah, I never thought about cats using sign language. They do have a lot of like nonverbal communication. Time, do you see the new baby? Time was our baby born last year in the cold spell. She's our constant escapee. She jumps over everything. So when they're born in the cold like this, it's a real headache just to make sure that you're here. I don't induce my goats, so whenever they're, go into labor naturally is when they have them. And so that makes it hard, but I find that the kids just grow really, really well. During this cold weather, there's, very little threat of parasites. Coccidity is like a big problem for kids. If If you see a kid that's really stunted, that's usually why. So in the cold weather, it doesn't, it's not everywhere like it is. And kids just chew on everything. You'll see them putting everything in their mouth. So that's one benefit of being born in the cold. Dude, you were just sliding all the way down that mat. So you're planning to start a family with a farm life? Honestly, I would start out with chickens. They're kind of the starter animal. I've had chickens, since I was a kid, and even before we had goats, we had chickens. The fresh eggs are a benefit. A lot of times they're easy to take care of. Kind of gets you used to taking care of livestock. And if you get goats and you don't want to milk them, just get some wethers. They're not hormonal or moody because they're not going into heat. And they're really a great animal to kind of learn to take with. Hi, Scallywag. I have never had goat head. I can't even imagine what there is to eat on a goat head. We have eaten our goat before. Nigerians, they're small goats, so it's a lot of work and time to put into harvesting one. You have to grow them out a long time. But no, I've never had goat head. Chickens, I don't really find that they get sick a lot. I think if you're in any chicken group, you'll see a lot of people having problems with chickens. Sometimes they do randomly die. And I don't think they live super long, but they're really a great animal to start with. They're pretty hands-off, If you go out of town, you could just put a bunch of different feed out and water out. Just have someone check in on them. The only bad thing about chickens is you do have to worry about predators. Luckily here, we've been very fortunate not having any predators for the chickens. Although I hear coyotes all the time. I think because our dog kind of patrols the yard, they don't come into the yard. I hope. We are looking for a livestock guardian dog. So been kind of investigating different breeds to get, different farms that have them around me. So I think that will bring some peace of mind having a guardian with the goats. So these goats are born with horns, unless your goat is polled. The males and the females both have horns. I do remove them, so they will be disbudded. And if you do it before they're 10 days old, the horn bud hasn't fused to the skull, so it pops off pretty easily. I don't have any horned goats here. Having a goat with horns just opens up a whole new slew of problems. They also can't be shown with horns, so this is a show herd, and I don't think I would ever have a goat with horns. I've had one, and as a kid, he was really mean, and he butted my leg up against the gate, and I think I had a bruise for months. They can puncture other goats, they can puncture eyes, they can, rip udders. They get stuck in fences and feeders. Hi, Wetface. Hope you're doing well. We've had a new baby. This is our new buckling. He's a big chunky baby. He's actually bigger than all of the older babies. Now Meg had one big buckling. Yeah, she finally popped about 5 o'clock this morning. And she looks pretty tired. She just had one, you know. Having one is pretty rare for Nigerian dwarfs, but Nutmeg has had a single kid now 4 times. So that's just how she is. And I sold her daughter. So I was talking to the lady that bought her, and she actually had 5. They didn't all live, so I think it's just Nutmeg. Nutmeg only has singles. She's had twins 3 times, but she's had singles 4 times. She is big. She's a deep-bodied doe. Nutmeg loves to eat too, so. Nutmeg's other daughter had triplets, has had triplets every time except once. She had twins. And then another daughter has had triplets last year, so. Aww. She always loves her kids so much. Such a good mama, Nutmeg. She does look exhausted. He is solid black. He's just got a little bit of white. It's funny because the buck was orange with moon spots. So Nutmeg's had a black kid several times, so she must carry like a recessive black gene in her lines. My sister-in-law like knows all of the color genetics, and I can never remember them. He sure is spunky for being a few hours old. Most of the time after they're born, you know, I make sure they eat and then they nap for a while. He's just exploring everything. Yeah, these are Nigerian dwarfs. So I started my herd with 2 goats from a breeder in northern Indiana. She does a lot of showing. And from there, I've collected goats from everywhere. I got my first buck from New York. And then I got a doe from Alabama. I've bought another doe from Kentucky. Got a buck from my sister-in-law raises Nigerian dwarfs too, so I bought a buck from her. I also traded a doe for her. So I grew up with dairy goats, but I had Overhaussleys and Nubians growing up. And I did 4-H for 10 years. Our fair actually had like a queen for every species, so one year I was the goat queen. Always loved taking care of them and showing them. So then when my daughter was old enough for 4-H, I was like, you gotta show dairy goats. So we went and got 2 Nigerians, and we only lived on an acre, so we didn't have a lot of room. Nigerians have a very small footprint. So we've since gotten more land since then, but we still have Nigerians. Nigerians can't be registered if they're crossed with any other breed, so I don't have any other breeds here. And then a few years ago, I got my dairy goat judging license. So I've had the pleasure of judging goats all over the country, from Baltimore to Portland, and during show season, which is typically April to October. I really enjoy seeing goats in whatever state I'm in. So the past 2 summers, I've taken about 20 judging gigs each summer. And so with them all being, you know, they're not like right next to your house. Some of them are kind of close. You know, it ends up being a lot because they're almost all on the weekends unless it's a county fair. So it's a lot of traveling with all these goats at home, and, you know, my kids, and, you know, working, everything else. So this year I was like, I can't take that many again. So I've only taken 6 this year. So I'm like, I'm only taking it if it's, someone that I really would like to judge for, or if it's in a really cool place. I'm very passionate about goats, but I still feel like I learn something every day. I think the more that you have, the more things that you encounter with goats. So my first show is in April. It's in Virginia. In May, there's usually a lot of shows in May, but we're actually hosting our very own sanctioned show here in our at one of the local fairgrounds. So that's like a first for us. There's no open class shows in the Cincinnati area, really. And so then after that, I have a show up near Cleveland, and then a show in Oklahoma. Then I have a show in San Diego. In June, I have a show, I think it's near Denver. And then I have a county fair, and then we have our local county fair. And we also do the state fair over the summer. In September, I took a show in Texas, so getting a little bit of diversity. It's kind of neat to see the trends around the country. You'll see different styles of goats be popular. Yeah, this breed, they really do a great job as mothers. I've only had one doe reject her kid, and it ended up being a case of pregnancy toxemia. And I was honestly not expecting the doe to live. Had called the vet several times. He was telling me everything to do, but she just seemed like very, very weak. Anyway, she pulled out, but she just couldn't take care of the kid. And so we bottle fed him completely, and he grew like into a big monster, but the doe is still with us, so I'm just happy she's doing good. So I don't know if I've ever streamed a goat show. I might stream some of the ones that we show at. If I'm judging the show, it's you have to you're walking around the ring the whole time. You have to check teats on every single animal. You have to feel every animal. At dairy goat shows, you had to give reasons for placings. Oh, I love when people combine the names. I actually have one of my bucklings, and his name is a combination of the sire and dam. So I think the dad was like Kolasaja, and then the mom's was Cuddle. So his name is Cuddle Saja. I have tried to go with themes all the way down. So like nutmeg is like a spice. So I had we have like hazel, which I don't know if it's a spice or more of a flavor. Kind of, I guess, spices and food. We had chia, we had thyme, we had sage. And then for pancake, she was getting all like pancake toppings. So she got chocolate chip as a baby, and then she got blueberries. Usually I just let my kids name them, and so I feel like it gives them a little bit more ownership into the goats. Yeah, we like food names here. I see a lot of people give their goats like very regal names. I think with a standard goat, maybe that would make a little more sense, but for a mini goat, I think sometimes it's kind of funny. And they're so cute when they're babies that it's easy to give them cute names. You're so tired, Nutmeg. You ready to go back out time? Are you being nosy? They're very huggable. They're so soft and sweet. They're so little. So we haven't harvested a lot of our goats. We've only done one. It's typically a male. So if you don't mess with the goats a lot, they're not very friendly. They kind of get skittish and wild. So, if goats are to be respected as, a viable livestock source, I think you do have to realize that they have they have value as meat animals as well. So, although their primary purpose is not meat, I don't think it's terrible that people eat goats. No, shows are just kind of fun for me. It helps pay some of the goat bills, and I love doing it. I also work, but I work part-time, so it's not a lot. Yeah, there are some breeds of goat that are typically just meat. And if you look at the skeleton or the carcass of a dairy animal versus a meat animal, you'll see why, because there's just so much more meat on a meat animal because they've been bred for that. There are some dairy goats that the breeds do offer more meat, like the Nubian or La Mancha. And so I think they have value for that. This breed, though, being so small, it really would take a long time. A lot of people do keep them as pets. So all of my wethers usually go as pets. I did have a whole group of wethers last year, and the lady was running a grazing business. She's still doing it. She loads them all up and takes them to someone's house that has an overgrown yard or field, and they just eat all the forage. Yeah, I like eating meat, but sometimes I don't know if I could be strictly carnivore. The carnivore diet's very popular because sometimes it just feels like it's too greasy or something. The goat that we eat, usually we just make jerky or like a roast or tacos or something. I miss time. Oh no. So what face? The carnivore diet must be ideal for you. Clips, did you make your way back in here? Okay, guys, well, I am going to hop off and haul some water in and feed my bucks. So, thank you for joining me this morning. If Sage does have her kids, I'll hop on and show you because I'm really excited to see what she's going to have. But thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow. Or, actually, I'm working tomorrow, but I think someone will tomorrow. So, hope you all have a great Friday. Get ready for a relaxing weekend. Thank you for subbing, FR24. Bye, guys.